We are living in an incredibly surreal moment right now.
Yeah, it really is.
Because on one hand, you have a tech billionaire begging for robot taxes.
Right.
But on the other hand, AI clones are literally taking over our video calls.
It is, a completely wild contrast to witness every single day.
It really is. Welcome to this deep dive, by the way. Today, we are exploring the architecture of the intelligence age.
And we have a very clear mission for you today.
We do. We will start our journey at the macro-societal level. We really need to look at surviving the economic shockwaves of AI.
Then we are going to zoom way down into the micro. We will explore the structural fixes that actually end AI hallucinations.
Right. So to understand where all of this technology is going, we must first look at the massive economic blueprint.
Yeah, OpenAI just released a 13-page document about our shared future.
It is called Industrial Policy for the Intelligence Age.
And it outlines a reality that sounds like pure sci-fi. But, this is being seriously planned for right now. They are heavily preparing for the rapid arrival of AGI.
Let us define that specific term for you really quickly. Machines that can think, learn, and reason just like humans.
Exactly. And that is what they're trying to build today. So Altman proposes 5 core pillars to handle this massive transition.
It starts with a huge structural shift in our economy. Because if machines replace human labor, traditional payroll taxes simply disappear.
Yeah, human wages vanish, and the government loses its income tax. Which brings us directly to his proposed tax shift.
He suggests a move towards specific taxes on AI robots.
Right, shifting the massive burden away from standard human payrolls. It moves the burden toward capital gains and corporate income.
Well, it is, a mathematical necessity if labor completely dries up. But what exactly does this new tax revenue actually fund?
Well, it funds his first core pillar, a massive public wealth fund. Every single American citizen would get a direct economic stake.
So you would capture economic growth as machines replace human labor.
That leads right into the third pillar of this blueprint, incentivizing a 32-hour work week for absolutely everyone.
A 4-day work week at full normal pay.
Yeah, and the fourth concept is establishing a right to AI, framing AI access as a basic foundational human right.
Like literacy or basic electricity. It must remain totally affordable for absolutely everyone, everywhere.
Right. And then the final pillar is perhaps the most deeply chilling. They are proposing very strict containment playbooks for rogue AI.
Containment playbooks, that sounds exactly like a military operation.
Right, and they specifically mention systems that duplicate themselves rapidly, a protocol for dealing with AI that spreads without human permission.
It clearly implies that technology is inherently incredibly dangerous. Capitalism alone simply cannot survive AGI in its current form.
No, the current economic system just breaks under that much automation.
I am really trying to wrap my head around the motivation here. Because part of me sees an act of visionary altruism.
But
the cynical part wonders if this is just a massive PR shield. Is he just trying to protect a massive tech monopoly?
well, he is basically admitting his technology could break the world, so he is actively asking society to help build the safety net.
So he is building the cage before the monster fully wakes up.
That is a perfect summary of this entire policy document.
But that macro vision requires an unfathomable amount of hardware. The real war right now is happening in physical infrastructure.
Oh, absolutely. Broadcom just expanded their massive deals in this hardware space. They're delivering 3.5 gigawatts of total compute capacity.
To Google and Anthropic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let us unpack what 3.5 gigawatts physically means. 1 gigawatt powers roughly 750,000 human homes.
So we are talking about powering multiple major American cities. The financial scale of this specific hardware build-out is staggering. Broadcom could hit $42 billion in revenue by 2027.
2 secs silence. That sheer financial scale is almost impossible to fully comprehend.
It really is. But the hardware story is evolving rapidly. NVIDIA is currently planning to acquire a company called SkedMD.
They are the creators of a software called Slurm.
Right. Slurm acts like the ultimate traffic cop for server farms. It decides whose AI model gets trained on the network today.
And Slurm is used in 60% of the world's supercomputers.
Yeah, so this proposed acquisition is causing some serious worry.
Right, because people worry NVIDIA could unfairly favor its own specific chips. If they own the traffic cop, they control the traffic.
Exactly. It could deeply affect fair software access for everyone else. Meanwhile, early OpenAI team members have started a new fund.
A $100 million venture capital fund called Zero Shot.
Yeah, and it is fascinating to see what these insiders avoid entirely. They actively avoid funding things like natural language vibe coding.
Or digital twins. They are hunting for the foundational tools of the intelligence age.
Mm-hmm. They know exactly which applications are just pure marketing hype.
But I keep coming back to that massive NVIDIA acquisition. What happens when one single company dictates the hardware chips?
And they also control the software scheduling the entire supercomputer.
Yes, it creates a massive, dangerous bottleneck for the entire industry.
They could theoretically dictate operational terms to all their competitors.
They want to own the toll booth and the entire highway.
Precisely.
Beat. We're going to take a very brief pause here. Sponsor read goes here, provided separately. Welcome back to our deep dive for today.
We're just talking about that massive multi-billion-dollar infrastructure.
Right, and it is not just humming in dark server rooms anymore. It is powering wild consumer tools that are altering reality today.
Yeah, Pika just launched a brand new tool called PikaStream 1.0. It is specifically built for real-time video calls with a digital self.
Imagine jumping on a morning Google Meet with your team, but the person speaking on screen is actually your AI clone.
It is a totally strange new frontier for daily communication.
I have to admit something to you right now, honestly. The idea of an AI clone taking my meetings makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself on simple tasks. Letting an autonomous clone speak for me feels incredibly risky.
I completely get that. But the advancements in video generation are not slowing down. Netflix just released an open-source AI video editor called Void.
Standard AI video models usually struggle heavily with basic physics. A bouncing ball looks weird or gravity looks like jello.
Right, but Void operates using actual, real physical logic for edits. It calculates mass and velocity beneath the visual video layer.
So what happens when you compare it to existing tools?
Well, they ran rigorous tests with 25 different professional evaluators recently. Those evaluators preferred Void nearly 2/3 of the time overall.
Wow. It consistently beat out established visual tools like Runway. That is a massive foundational shift in video generation quality.
It actually understands how objects physically move in real space. Google also dropped a brand new offline AI dictation app.
It cleans your natural speech automatically in absolute real time, removing every single, you say aloud?
And it does this entirely offline, without any cloud pings.
Running that kind of model locally on a phone is wild.
It could deeply challenge tools like WhisperFlow. We also have a very interesting possible model leak circulating right now.
Viral comparison showing OpenAI's potential next image generation model.
Yeah, being informally called GPT Image 2 online, it may even beat the highly capable Nano Banana Pro.
The sheer speed of these specific consumer releases is staggering. Highly specialized consumer tools are appearing almost every single day.
Absolutely. Like Moonshot, a beautiful macOS menu bar app. It tracks NASA's Artemis II mission in absolute real time.
Tracking specific return events right on your desktop. It just shows how niche and powerful these models are becoming.
We also saw the massive release of Pixverse V6 recently. It handles complex visual transforms and sweeping bullet time effects well.
And it does all of this with perfectly synced audio tracks. There's also a major new tool for e-commerce brands.
Yes, KREV. It transforms a single product image into full video ads, launch-ready marketing creatives in seconds.
It effectively compresses an entire marketing department into one tool. But looking at all these tools, I keep wondering something.
What is that?
How does society function when seeing is no longer believing? When a standard video call might just be a PikaStream clone?
It forces us to completely rethink how we verify absolute truth. We can no longer trust our eyes or our ears blindly.
We are moving from a trust-by-default world to a verification-first reality.
Yeah, well said.
Beat. But even with infinite compute and hyper-realistic video clones available, these incredible AI models still break down under complex logic.
They struggle deeply with the messy realities of human organizations.
Exactly. How do we fix these messy tribal knowledge problems everywhere? Well, Meta just figured out exactly how to solve this massive issue.
Meta realized their internal AI constantly fails at mapping tribal knowledge. You know, the weird naming conventions only senior engineers know.
A system might be named after an employee's old pet. Standard AI models simply cannot understand those weird human quirks.
So to fix this, they deployed a literal swarm of specialized AI. Over 50 specialized AI agents for this one massive task.
That is just incredible.
Whoa. Imagine scaling 50 specialized AI agents arguing over code logic across millions of files.
It is a breathtaking approach to modern software engineering. Standard AI retrieval systems simply fail on proprietary company code.
Yeah, we generally call those systems retrieval augmented generation, or RDA.
Let us define RA so the mechanism is perfectly clear. Fetching raw text documents from a database to answer user queries.
Right. Standard array simply retrieves raw text from a massive database. But it fails completely because the correct answer lives in the relationship.
Standard RAG is like reading a random page of a novel. You read one page and try to explain the whole plot.
Exactly. It misses the specific invisible relationship between 6 different technical subsystems. Changing a variable in Python breaks a completely different C++ library.
RA simply does not see the invisible strings connecting them together. So how exactly did Meta's swarm of specialized agents fix this?
Well, they mapped over 4,100 different engineering files. This massive mapping covered Python, C++A, and Hack.
They essentially built a simulated company of AI workers inside Meta. They started with agents they specifically called the initial explorers.
Right. 2 explorers mapped the initial raw folder structure, like scouts surveying a completely unknown digital landscape.
Then, 11 different analysts read every single file to answer questions.
They answered core questions about various complex code dependencies, figuring out exactly how the different systems talk to each other.
Writers then took that massive pile of raw analytical data. They produced 59 very concise context files in total.
These files act as a navigation guide, not an encyclopedia. Finally, 10 critics ran 3 rounds of independent, harsh review.
They did all of this to ensure zero hallucinations existed. Let us define what a hallucination actually is for you now, when an AI confidently makes up completely fake information.
Yeah, they desperately needed to ensure 0 fake file paths existed. They needed perfectly accurate logic across the entire massive code base.
They are essentially stacking Lego blocks of data to build a compass, a true compass for navigating the entire complex system.
Before they deployed the swarm system, their AI context coverage was terrible. It was stuck at a measly 5% total coverage.
That is only 5 files out of thousands of files available. A human engineer would be fired for knowing only 5 files.
Right. But now they have 100% complete system context coverage. It spans perfectly across all 59 of those specialized context files.
And the most brilliant part is how they actually maintain this map.
Yeah, automated jobs rerun the entire swarm every few weeks now.
Because software code is a living, breathing, constantly changing ecosystem.
This helps them detect context decay as the code evolves daily. It automatically fixes any stale references in the entire navigation system.
I am looking at the sheer complexity of this swarm approach.
Yeah.
Why couldn't a single ultra-smart model just read the entire code base?
You mean, why does it specifically need this massive swarm of argumentative agents?
Yeah, why the swarm?
Well, a single monolithic model cannot hold all those dense relational dependencies. It eventually loses the thread of how different subsystems connect together.
The swarm breaks the problem down into manageable, debatable logic pieces. The answer lives in the messy relationships, not the raw text.
Exactly.
We have been on quite an expansive journey with you today. We started at the highest possible level of our human economy.
Sam Altman is trying to build a massive macro safety net because he knows AGI will fundamentally break the current human labor market.
We explored robot taxes, wealth funds, and incredibly strict containment playbooks. Then we looked at the physical infrastructure actually powering that future.
Broadcom delivering gigawatts of power while NVIDIA buys the traffic cops.
And we saw how this compute is altering our daily consumer reality. AI clones, taking our meetings and video tools, understanding real physics.
Finally, we ended with Meta building a micro-compass system inside. They needed it to navigate broken and messy human code bases perfectly.
The core secret to the intelligence age is becoming quite clear. It is not just about building a much smarter AI model.
It is about building vastly better navigation systems to control it. The models are powerful, but the navigation structures harness that power.
Let me leave you with one final provocative thought today. A swarm successfully mapped the messy unwritten rules of software code.
It mapped the invisible human quirks hidden inside the machine logic.
It successfully captured the unwritten tribal knowledge of senior software engineers. So how long until a swarm maps our complex human legal systems?
Or maps the unwritten social rules of our massive corporate cultures?
That is a fascinating and slightly terrifying open question for society. They could easily map and exploit the unwritten rules of society.
It really makes you think.
Thank you so much for your precious time and curiosity today. Look at your own workflows and your own daily professional routines.
Ask yourself exactly where you might need a new compass layer.
We started by mentioning a deeply surreal contrast in our society. A tech billionaire actively begging for new robot taxes today.
While AI clones silently prepare to take over our daily meetings.
The future's incredibly strange, but we are navigating it together. Stay deeply curious, and we will see you next time.